Hello everyone. Alright, so it's been an extremely long time since the last time I made a MTG gameplay video, but I'm back at it. I have several decks that'll be coming out over the next couple of days, um, and they're all actually extremely good. Spoiler alert, they're pretty much all historic decks. I haven't completely dropped standard, but I haven't really been enjoying the current format, and I don't think I will until post-rotation, so we'll reapproach that maybe in October, I guess. We'll see how that goes. Um, and to anyone who's new here, yeah, this actually is not a meme channel. I know I recently got around 500 subscribers because of my "You Can't Catch Me, Gay Thoughts" meme, which I'm still really grateful for, and I'm really grateful that that video now has 500,000 views, literally. But yeah, this was originally meant for gaming, but I'll still post memes. But as for the OG content today, we're going to take a look at what originally was a classic Aristocrat deck, but is now a tad bit of a morphed Aristocrat deck, because we actually ended up getting some pretty good stuff in Strixhaven, which I know is basically old news by now, that really changed the way that this deck works. Well, not the way that it works, but some of the ways to make it more efficient. So let's go ahead and go through the deck real quick. The first thing I want to mention is, despite the fact that I only ever play best of one on here, I do have a sideboard. It is a bit more complex than it needs to be, but in essence, I have these things. I'm actually just going to get rid of the Inkling Summonings because I never really use them. But Pest Summoning, I have a card in here that uses Learn, so I can go ahead and pull this from the sideboard and put it into my main hand. And I also have Confront the Past in here just in case, although I have never once used it, and I seriously doubt I will. As for the main deck, it's a pretty simple Aristocrats build. If you've seen my other two Aristocrats builds, you know it's this, but it's a lot simpler. So we start off in the 1-drop spot. We have Hunted Witness. It's pretty simple. It's a 1/1. It dies. It creates another 1/1. So, you know, it replaces itself after it gets done being fodder. Next, we have Eye Twitch. This is the creature that has the Learn ability. Basically, when this dies, I can go get Pest Summoning or that other card. Most of the time, I just get Pest Summoning. So, Pest Summoning isn't a super efficient card as far as mana goes, but the fact that I can get it at instant speed just from sacking this is a pretty good deal, and I actually do end up playing it quite a bit. Whenever I Twitch dies, that is to say. Serrated Scorpion, of course, this is the typical card that pulls double duty. It's a 1-drop. It dies. It does 2 damage to your opponent. You gain 2 life. It's doing everything we're already doing. Spark Harvest, I ended up going down to 2 of this because I don't really like the fact that it's sorcery speed. And on top of that, target removal isn't the most necessary thing in this build. Of course, I do occasionally regret not having target removal, but in this instance, it's whatever. But it says basically you pay 1 mana, you sacrifice a creature, which is what we're trying to do, and you destroy target creature or planeswalker. Alternatively, you could pay extra mana, but why would you do that when you're trying to destroy your own creatures anyway? Next, we have Village Rites. We have 4 copies of this. Literally, you just pay 1 mana, sacrifice a creature, draw 2 cards. So it does what we want it to do, and we get value off of it. Of course, we start into the actual Aristocrat package. We have Blood Artist. Whenever it or another creature dies, including creatures on your opponent's side, target player loses a life and you gain a life. New card, Plumb the Forbidden. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you can sacrifice 1 or more creatures. Now, this is a May ability, which means you don't necessarily have to, but since we're trying to sacrifice creatures anyway, you know we're probably going to do it. You basically just copy the spell for every single time it's been cast, and for every single copy, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. Now, of course, the lose 1 life does make it a little bit difficult to work with, but I would say this is definitely a key card in current builds. Now, of course, 1 mana and getting 2 cards is already going to be pretty good, but this allows us to really close the mid to end game because you can sacrifice any number of creatures that you have. And so if you have your payoff cards on the board, you know, you can use this to finish the game. It doesn't even matter the fact that you're drawing cards. But if you're just empty-handed and you still have some stuff on the board and you want to double down on reloading your hand as well as getting value, this is like the perfect card for it. I mean, it's a great card. I mean, I can't see Aristocrat decks not playing this. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's been skyrocketing in price because of that. Next, we have the classic Priest of the Forgotten Gods. You can sacrifice 2 other creatures. Opponent loses 2 life, and they sacrifice a creature, and you add 2 black mana and draw a card, which is really good for helping your mid to late game, the extra mana that is to say, helping your mid to late game goals. 4 copies of Cruel Celebrant. Whenever it or another creature or planeswalker you control dies, it drains. So, you know, that's one of our other payoffs. We have gone down, this was 4 copies, but we went down to 3 copies of Hidden Stockpile. Essentially, all this does is it gives you a free body for having something leave the battlefield. And since we're constantly sacrificing stuff, we're going to have stuff leaving the battlefield all the time, and that's just free fodder. I mean, this is probably one of the most overlooked efficient spells in the black-white version of this deck. Next, we have 4 copies of Bastion of Remembrance, and despite the fact that it has one of the higher converted mana costs in this build, the fact that it's an enchantment and can't be killed by target removal, board wipes, exile, things like that, makes it invaluable. And it also, of course, comes in with its own body, little 1/1 soldier. We have our finisher card, Massacre Girl. This is, of course, the card that you use when you have loaded the bases, you've got a ton of stuff down, and not only does it get all of your Aristocrats triggers, but it board wipes on top of that. But, of course, we only have 2 copies because, 1, we can win without it, and 2, it is the highest costing spell at 5 mana in this entire build. But if you're not familiar with how this works, basically, when it enters, everything gets -1/-1, and then every creature that dies from that ability causes the trigger to go off again. And so, essentially, if you've got a bunch of small stuff out, you can annihilate a ton of creatures, even at like higher power abilities. Higher power and toughness. And because it does -1/-1, it gets around indestructible. So yeah, solid card. Again, one I feel like is just not played because of the high mana cost, but I'm willing to take that risk. Of course, you know, I have the classic Royal Pain low mana base, but the mana base is essentially, you know, what you would expect for a black-white deck. 4 Godless Shrines, 4 Bright Climb Pathways, 4 Swamps, 3 Plains, 2 Castle Lochwain, 1 Castle Ardenvale. Lochwain to dry cards, Ardenvale because if we have a bunch of mana and we need a body, we can make a human, although I don't think I've ever seen that happen. And then we got 3 copies of Fable Passage in order to go fetch stuff. I would consider altering this, but I just haven't bothered to do so because I don't want to spend my rares on it. And honestly, the mana base is not that big of a problem anyway, so, you know, don't fix something that's not broken, as they say. Anyway, let's go ahead and get a couple games in and see how we do. Apparently, this is going to be another fun deck to look at later. Apparently, the season ends soon, so let's see if we can't get to a higher ranking of Platinum. Maybe even Diamond, depending on how many games I play tonight. Alright, let's take a look what we got. We got Bright Climb, Godless Shrine, Castle Lochwain, so we have the ability to have this come in untapped. We have 2 Krats and the Bastion, but just 1 Hunted Witness. I think this is still okay to keep, though. So we'll go ahead and keep it. We'll go ahead and shock in with the Shrine, drop the Witness, and pass. Classic turn 1 Aristocrats. Yep. Alright, so because Pillar of Flame exiled it, that means we don't actually get the death trigger. But honestly, I'd rather lose the Hunted Witness than Blood Artist or Cruel Celebrant. I mean, it sucks we don't get the free body, but it's whatever. Alright, Steam Vents. And Shock. Alright, well, we still get the Aristocrat trigger, so that works out. And they're looting. So I'm guessing just because of the fact that they just played Faithless Looting, we are facing a Phoenix deck. Yep, there's the Arc-like Phoenix right there. Alright, so yep. Alright, let's go ahead and put down the Bastion. Now, if this goes the way that I want it to, and it probably will, one, they're not going to be able to play the Phoenix anytime soon, and two, we can just basically completely ignore the fact that they're doing damage to us. Now, you might notice I'm always putting down the Bright Climbs as Grims. That's because most likely we will only ever need mono black. There are very few red instances in which we need white mana in this deck, which is kind of funny. Alright, hit the village right, sacrifice the creature, we get a trigger from Blood Artist and from Bastion. And we get another Bastion, okay. So this is instant speed, so we'll go ahead and end the turn at this point. And if they go to kill the Blood Artist, we'll just go ahead and village rights it. Alright, loot and dragon boost. They dropped another Phoenix. I think they grave looted. Yeah, looks like they did. Alright, well I'm tired of driving lands, so I'll go ahead and put down this Fabled Passage and see if I can't focus the lands out. We'll go get a Swamp. Drop Bastion. And I am thinking we will pass because, well, no, yeah, I'll sorcery speed this, I don't care. Alright, so Blood Artist, Bastion goes off. Okay, that ended up working out in our favor. So Hunted Witness goes down. The only downside right now is I don't actually have any way to sacrifice the Witness, but I think we're on a roll at this point. We're in a position where if they kill anything, it's just going to hurt them way too much for it to actually benefit them. Looks like they're grave looting. Yep, grave looting. Okay, nothing from it. Alright, taking the 5 points of damage, and we drew a land! Exactly what I did not want to do. Alright, we don't have any options, so I guess we'll go ahead and pass. Well, we'll attack with the Hunted Witness so we can get a free bit of damage in. And the turn... we may have to paint ourselves with that Castle Lockqueen. We'll have to paint ourselves, I'm gonna... Alright, yeah, he's shocking us because he knows the only way to get around it at this point. Stormwing Entity comes in. Yep. That's a good card. Alright, so we're facing 7 points of damage on top of about 3 more from Castle Lockqueen, so we can get that extra draw, which means if we don't figure out a way to take care of this board state or gain some type of major advantage, we're pretty well screwed. Yikes. Okay, that's exactly what I didn't want to happen. We're gonna have to go all in on this one, so we'll go ahead and put down, I guess, the Castle Ardenvale, Bastion. But, yeah, I forgot about the fact that I had to count in Castle Lockqueen because we need to draw something. So we actually are going to have to concede this one, and we'll move on to the next game. So I think the lesson we can take from this one in particular, this particular game, is have more ammo in the hand, I guess. Alright, try again. See what happens. I'm surprised we got flooded as much as we do. I rarely ever get more than like 4 lands in a single game. But it's just one of those things that happens. Okay, Swamp into Plains, Hunted Witness, Priest. Because we have Priest, I'm going to say we'll go ahead and keep this one. Alright, planes down. We'll put our planes down, follow up with the Hunted Witness, and pass. And then I'm pretty sure the play after that is Swamp and Priest. Bishop of Wings, okay. Yep, Swamp and Priest. We are not going to attack because we'd rather keep the Hunted Witness at this point in time. Now I'm thinking what I'll probably do is put down the Cruel Celebrant if I don't get something else to fodder out. Just because losing her would suck, but it's not the worst thing in the world, especially given the benefit that we'll get from it. We can put down a Blood Artist just from... Oh, never mind, we got a Serrated Scorpion, that works. Okay, Castle Lockwing down, Serrated Scorpion down, and Cruel Celebrant down. Activate the Priest, target this dude, and submit. Sacrifice the Scorpion and the Witness. Everything my deck wants. Yep, right there. Alright, cool. We don't necessarily need to play the Village Rates right now, so we'll go ahead and put down the Blood Artist off of the free mana and pass. Alright, put down a Forest. Now what? Righteous Valkyrie. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, we have just enough mana to go ahead and drop the Bastion and then use the Village Rites on something. But instead, I think we'll actually use the Priest. So, target our opponent. We will sacrifice the soldiers. Triple the triggers. Actually, 6 triggers. Yep, free trigger from the Blood Artist. Then, we'll go ahead and put down the Priest, but we don't really need 2 of them, so I'll just go ahead and sacrifice the Priest, get the triggers. And yeah, I mean, get that last point of damage in with the Cruel Celebrant. And at this point in time, if they kill any of my creatures, they lose. Or just quit, that works. Yeah, violently efficient combo decks are violently efficient. Who knew? Alright, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next game. We're going for a 3rd game, possibly a 4th. We'll see. I like to keep these at about half an hour long. So if this is a short game, I'll risk another one. Alright. Bright Climb. We could do Swamp into Scorpion. Yeah, I think we can keep this hand, and then we'll Swamp into Scorpion. On the following turn, we'll put down Castle Ardent Vale, and then Village Rites the Scorpion. Is what I'm thinking. Maybe, I don't know. I'm trying not to have too many white mana sources, just because they have minimal use in this build. Alright, Speaker of the Heavens, we are dealing with a Life Gain deck. Gonna do something, bro? Pacifism. He just played Pacifism on my Scorpion. That's so dumb. Okay, change of plans. I'm putting down a Priest. And then I guess we'll put down a land and use Bastion. Ooh, hidden stockpile. We get to use that this time. Okay, cool. I will go ahead and Grim Climb this and play the Bastion. Use the Priest. Target the opponent. Submit. Sacrifice the pacified Scorpion. That's hilarious. Get the triggers. opponent loses the speaker. We end the turn. Unfortunately, we don't get to use the extra black mana. But well, we'll see what happens in the future. And I could have sacrificed that with the village rights. Oh well. Alright, we'll go ahead and put down Ardenvale. And then we'll do Stockpile and Celebrate. And the turn. We could have witnessed the village rights, but put down the witness and followed up with village rights, but it didn't seem worth it. Alright, Hollow Priest, getting that life gain train going. Healer Hawk, not a common card in that build, but you know, it's a thing. Alright, cool, I got a Blood Artist, so we'll go ahead and put down a Plains, Hunted Witness, Blood Artist, sacrifice the Witness, get a buttload of triggers, and end the turn. And we get the free servo. We have 1 mana open, so if they go to target the Celebrant or the Blood Artist, we can just sacrifice it to the second ability on the Stockpile. That's something I didn't go over, is that you can use it to instant speed sacrifice in order to scry, which of course we care more about the sacrifice than the scry, but it's a nice bonus. Daxos. All this life gain and they're still getting screwed. Alright, cool. So we'll go ahead and play a second in Stockpile, which is literally just hilarious at this point. And we will sacrifice... Well, actually, hold on. We're not going to sacrifice yet. We're going to see if we can't bait them into blocking. Okay, cool. Alright. We might as well get scry triggers, so we will sacrifice this guy. Ooh, yeah, we'll keep that on top. And we won't even bother with the second one. We'll target this player and end the turn. 2 free new dudes. So, next turn, assuming he doesn't just quit at this point, we can use the Priest to sacrifice our 2 guys. We'll have another Celebrant down at that point in time. And I think we can probably close the game at that point in time. Yeah, because that's 9 life cost triggers on top of the 2 damage to take from the Forgotten God, Priest of the Forgotten Gods. We pretty much have this. Look at that. That's what I like to see. Yep. That's the win. Oh, I love Aristocrats. It's probably one of my favorite decks to play, especially when it comes to non-combat interactive decks. Alright, well, we made it to 24 minutes. We're going to go ahead and risk it for one last game. Oh, what do we get? Mantle of the Wolf. Gives 4/4 and creates 2 wolves when the creature dies. Interesting for an enchantment deck. Alright, one more round of Aristocrats. Highly underrated deck. I almost never see anyone else playing it, and yet I don't lose very often with it. Okay, we only have 2 lands this time, but it is a shrine in an Ardenvale, so that makes it a little bit easier. We can literally go Witness into Celebrant. We have a Spark Harvest for removal, Blood Artist, and a Bastion. This is pretty keepable. So, Shrine down to life, play this Witness, and go. Classic Aristocrat stuff. Planes! Anyone want to bet we're playing against another life gain deck? Alright, we'll go ahead and attack since we have an opening, and pass. What? Life gain? No way. No one could have ever saw that coming. I don't know if I really want to Spark Harvest that at the moment. I mean, I could, but I'd rather see if something else more interesting pops up. I'm not going to. I'll just go ahead and put down a Blood Artist and pass. Helioid. Alright, sack this, go get the swamp. Hey, look, straight Scorpion. Okay, I want to Bastion. I probably should Bastion. But I'm also tempted to put down Serrated Scorpion and Blood Artist instead. I mean, I'm not super concerned about the Bishop of the Wings just yet, because they don't really have the ball rolling. But then again, it's probably wisdom to go ahead and prevent that from happening in the first place. So, we will put down a Blood Artist. So we'll go ahead and Spark Harvest, target the Bishop, and sacrifice the Hunted Witness. We get 3 triggers. We'll get 2 additional triggers from the Blood Artist as well. And we will go ahead and attack for 1 extra point of damage from the Pro Celebrant. Pass turn. Now, unfortunately, the downside is now we have to worry about top decking. Because we need to be able to find things that allow us to sacrifice. Yuck. Okay. Well, we can empty the hand, which I guess has perks. And we'll just go ahead and start swinging. Castle Ardenvale comes down. Hey, we got one of those too. What? Are they focusing more on a token strategy? Interesting. Okay. Well, why will that under things you don't see every day? Oh yes, please make things that can block things that I attack with. I very much encourage it. In fact, I'll even swing with something you want to block anyway. Yeah, what a catch-22, right? Okay. So she can swing out, he, she, whoever this person is. Wait, what are they banishing? Bastion? I'd go for the Bastion. Yep, Bastion it is. I still have him pretty well pinned, because blocking still ends up being more damage than not blocking. Okay, lifelink it is. That actually makes sense. Alright. Oh, why are we getting so much damn land? Oh well. Just keep attacking. That's all we can do. At least now I have a second white source on top of the Arden Vale, so... Oh, that's smart. Okay. Well, it looks like we're going to have to hope for some non-combat ways to get in. I really need a village rights, or at the very least a priest of the Forgotten Gods. But village rights would be ideal. I can take a few hits, but this is potentially just a situation where I lose. However, I can block Helioid, which gives me death triggers. Priest! There we go, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, no attacks. Now it is possible that they can figure out a way to get rid of my priest, in which case it doesn't really help my situation, but we'll see what happens. It's just really in a situation. I've got to figure out a way to make sure that my opponent is losing more life than he is gaining. And I think Priest will help with that because she gives me draw and she gives me life loss, she gives me triggers. But at the moment I can only do 2 of those. I can only get 2 of those, I mean. But we'll see what happens. Yikes. Okay, I can block Helioid, and so I will... I'll block Helioid, yeah. Okay, Hunted Witness. Alright, so... Witness down. Yeah, whatever. Come on! Hurry up with the triggers. Okay, so sacrifice... both of the witnesses. We have to get really lucky here. Yes! Yes, it's Massacre Girl! Massacre Girl comes in to save us all! Oh, I love Massacre Girl. Oh my goodness, I emptied his board! Ah, yes! Massacre Girl comes in clutch. Oh my goodness. Oh. What a mess. Alright, cool. And stockpile would do a lot for me at this point, and we're still trying to figure out how we're going to win. At the very least, we need to get rid of a Johnny. And we'll just end the turn from here. The problem is, in order to do that, I had to wipe my own board, so we're both just kind of screwed. Okay, we got another priest. That is potentially helpful. The thing is, the Ardent Veil is basically just giving him free angels this entire time. So we still have a pretty decent chance of just losing anyway. What a top deck though. Ugh. Okay, planes. Activate castle. Activate priest. Sacrifice these two. Put down the Bastion, and we can do it again next turn and see what happens. As long as they don't figure out a way to start gaining life again, we have a chance. We have the stockpile putting in work for us, the priest will allow us to keep drawing stuff, getting free mana. Okay, well, okay, he has a way to gain life, but just not a lot of it. We're not out of gas yet. We haven't won, but we're not dead, although I think this is our last chance. Wait, what? Oh. Interesting choice. Why do you keep giving me land? Stupid. Oh my goodness. Enters tapped. End turn. I mean, we could castle Ardent Veil at another human. Oh, it's always when I don't want it to take forever that this crap starts taking forever. Okay, Castle Lockwing, that's really helpful actually. So, of course, this one final game, as interesting as it is, ends up being the one that takes forever. I mean, that'll be useful later, I guess. It's a real battle of wills here. He's deliberately giving my own life back. And we're just kind of in a circle of stalling. Oh, never mind. The Angel of Destiny pulled it off for him. Alright, well that sucks. Still, really interesting game. That was... Oh, that Massacre Girl coming in clutch. I thought for sure we could have done something there, but he still had enough on the board with the enchantments. Anyway, so yeah, that's more or less a classic Aristocrats build, but upgraded with Strixhaven. If you have any comments about the deck, go ahead and make note of them. And yeah, we will go ahead and see you in the next one. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of the day.